How the fuck did a fly get up in here? That's so disgusting. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I don't even know how to start this off, honestly. I guess I can just talk about where I'm at in life. Well, first and foremost, I'm making this video. Honestly, for myself, I really just want to document this phase of my life. I would say that I'm in a transitional phase of life. Everything to me feels a bit murky, but there's still clarity in the midst of all that. I lost my job. I had a job for a full year, from May of last year till May 8th of this year. And I got fired, even though I tell everyone I quit, but I got fired from that job. The reason being is that I got emotionally tired of it, and I was just so tired of living in a cycle. I hated it so much, and I felt stuck. And I was a good employee to a certain extent. Like when I first started there, I was a great employee. I got promoted to being a shift lead. I was superb, I swear. But towards the end, I would say like the last 6 months of me being there is when things just took a turn. The management was not good. When I became shift lead, I wanted to implement standards, and they basically laughed at me. They had a very laissez-faire management style, and so it was very comfort driven. They wanted everyone to basically, like, you know, do what you want as long as you do your job, kind of thing. And I'm naturally not that type of person. I'm like, we're in a work environment. There's clear structure, there's clear standards that we all need to follow. And so I tried to implement that, and I got laughed at for it. And she was like, you're being too strict. You don't need to be strict. She was Egyptian. And I was like, you know what, fine. Fine. I won't do it. And then it turned into, well, now you need to be more strict. I'm like, well, you told me not to be strict. You told me not to be hands-on, and now you're telling me to be hands-on once you see the consequences of how your management style, pretty much. But that tug of war, that push and pull, it just put me in this place of like, fuck it. Like, fuck this shit. I got tired, and I was just like, I just wasn't in it anymore. And I had already mentally, emotionally checked out, but I kept showing up. And I realized, honestly, just a few days ago, that I kept showing up because I felt stuck. I felt like, if I didn't, how am I gonna pay this bill? How am I gonna do this? Like, how am I gonna be able to save for a car? And I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not gonna lie, I really could have saved more money than I have saved right now. Because if I'm gonna be honest with you, I only have like $200 in my savings account. I do. And I'm supposed to be saving $5,000 for a car. Honestly, would have had way more than that if I had better habits. But I don't have good habits. So that's why I ended up in that paycheck to paycheck cycle, and I wasn't really moving. But even then, I felt like the job was the reason why. Even though I knew, like, hey, like, part of this is your fault too. I did feel like I couldn't leave the job because, yeah, I was trying to put money towards a car, but, you know, if I stopped working, there won't ever be a car. I don't have no money to get one, so I wouldn't have any money. That was the whole thing. And I just didn't want to quit. I felt like I had no reason to quit, so I didn't quit. But I found that I would do little things like test and the manager or whatever to see what would happen. And she would let me get away with a lot of stuff. I would be super late, give her a lot of attitude. It was a hot mess. And, you know, eventually she was like, you're done. And I'm not gonna lie, that was the most liberating experience. I know that sounds so backwards to say, like, you got fired and you felt liberated. I did. Felt fucking free. But you know the first thing I did after I got fired? I went next door and I asked them if they were hiring. They weren't hiring, so I went down the street to the other place, which is Whataburger, by the way. They were hiring, and guess what? I got a job at Whataburger now, and tomorrow is actually my first day. So, yeah. But, I want to go back to school this semester, this coming semester, fall. And, I'm going to major in business. I did already put in an application for financial aid. Hopefully I get it. I did default on my aid when I first started going to college after graduation in 2024. But once again, I really did not have any good habits, and so I just wasn't in it. I went to school mainly for the social aspect of it, and so I ended up losing my grant. I got put on suspension, I think that's what it's called. So I couldn't do anything until I submitted an appeal. So I told myself, you know, this year would be different for me. And I stand, not stand. I want to prove that to myself. Like, hey, you're capable. Because that's one thing about me. I've always known that I was capable of a lot more than I give myself credit for. And I always felt as though I couldn't fully express myself because of the family I grew up in, and all that shit. I always felt like I just couldn't express myself. I felt like people would think I was strange or weird or what. And shit, they do now. Even when I'm not truly fully expressing myself, they still think I'm weird. So it's like, bitch, at this point you might as well. But I'm in a different headspace now. I'm wanting to improve myself, wanting to hold myself accountable, wanting to do something with my life, because I've noticed that a lot of people my age, a lot of my generation, they don't know what they want to do with their lives. They're stuck, just like I am, honestly. And so I guess you could say I'm making this channel to document my journey in hopes that it inspires someone else to start a journey of their own, you know. I don't really know what all is gonna be, what all this channel is going to encompass, but I'm here, you know, and I'm gonna show up for myself because I deserve it. We all deserve to have a good life, even if the economy is fucking shit, you know. I don't think we should let it define us or let it limit us. I definitely don't want it to limit me, because I see how it's limiting people in my family, how they're letting it limit them, because everything is all about perception. If you perceive something a certain way, you know, you're gonna believe that that's all it is. But perception can fucking blind you, dude. So yeah, um, um, that's the video. I don't really know what to say after that. But I mean, if you're seeing this, I hope you stick around. I don't know how much I'll upload. I don't know if it'll be every day, every 2 days, but it'll be consistent. That's for sure.